the new and exclusive Ulta Morphe 35H palette. Is it worth it? Hang tight. We are going to swatch every shade in this palette and be doing a couple of looks using the 35H palette in 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. But if it's your first time here and you enjoy beauty hauls, unboxings, first impressions, reviews, and more, you've come to the right place to hit subscribe for new videos weekly. Morphe has been killing it with the launches recently. We have the 39S palette, which I have recently purchased, also the 25L palette for Pride, and now, exclusively at Ulta, the 35H palette. I featured this palette on a Shop My Stash, What's New in My Collection, and you guys really wanted to see full swatches of this palette and also a couple of looks. The people have spoken, and here we are. So if you're interested in seeing the full swatches and the eye looks I create, just keep on watching. First, we're gonna do swatches. When I do swatches using my finger on my arm, there is no base on my arm. can't wait to dive right back into creating more looks. I would recommend this palette. It's $24 at Ulta. You can also use the $3.50 coupons to save a little extra money as well. I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. It caters to both warm shades and cool shades, which is a very nice balance, as well as a good balance of mattes and shimmers. I think this is a really great palette. I haven't really seen many people talking about this palette, which I'm a little shocked. Let me know if you have this palette and what looks you've created with it, and let me know what is your favorite Morphe palette. I do have 39S and 25L. I just haven't used them yet, but after trying out the 35H, I know I'm really excited to dive into those and create some looks. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next video.